Okay, well, I did the video. This is take two. Apparently I was too long-winded and the file was too big to upload on Dropbox. So I'm going to do this a lot, hopefully half the time, and see if this works, but which is probably a blessing for you guys. So I just want to share from Jeremiah 17, 7-9, which says, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord. He is like a tree planted by water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes, for its leaves remain green, and is not anxious in the year of drought, for it does not cease to bear fruit." And I was sharing this with the young adults because we're talking about insecurities, the lack of confidence or trust in ourselves, believing that God has left something better away from us. He didn't give it to us. There's something better out there that we could get to make us happy, to fulfill us in our beliefs of the lie that we believe about ourselves. And so for insecurities, we talked about, our friends, our body image, having a boyfriend or girlfriend, getting married one day, our intelligence, our skills, and our faith, our pride, and our confidence in ourselves. All these things we could have insecurities, and there's more things too as well. And when we have these things, we believe that believe the lie that we are not adequate enough. There's something missing that God didn't give us. And if we had that thing, we would be truly happy and content in life, which we know is a lie, right? If we can look out there, and there's countless examples of people in the world that, we can see they strive for these things, to feel fulfilled, to feel, loved by people, to feel part of the group, to feel beautiful. And so, if that really worked, they would be happy. We would see that fulfillment. But we know it's only God who can give us that fulfillment, give us that peace in our lives. And so when we start getting just insecure about anything about ourselves, but really not trusting God and saying, God, you didn't, what you gave us wasn't good enough. I need something else to be happy. And so for us, we want to, just remember who's with us, who's for us, and God, those things that the world thinks is important are not important. God looks at the inside. We know the inside is what matters. As I challenged the kids, I said, your parents, you don't look at your parents and say, you know what, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, so I don't want you to be parents. I want to have different parents. Right? That'd be ridiculous to say. And so for us, why would we say that to God? Someone he's poured out his love, poured out his blessings upon us, has done everything for us so that we can have that his love and have his peace and to be with him forever. And so for us is to kick back at something so insignificant is awful. And so for us to understand, why do we believe these things, and why haven't we given it to God, and why don't we let God be the one to fulfill us? And so we got to make sure we do that. We got to put the armor, Galatians 6, talking about the armor of God, right? We got to prepare for that. We got to give God that time and to work in us and to protect us through these days. And to have that relationship, I really want everybody to think, do we have that close relationship with God? I heard that many years growing up, and have that personal relationship. And I thought, well, what does that mean? This feels like it's one-sided. I'm here, but where's he? I can't see him or talk to him or have that relationship where I thought that it was the same as this worldly life. And so, do we want to feel that closeness with God? We want to have that closeness that we have with, to have an example, somebody here that we don't want to be without, someone we would want to have a day that we didn't have with us to talk and to care with us and to love us. That's what God will give us, and if we allow that. And so we want to get to a point where we understand God. We know his love. We love him. We don't want to be without him each day, that we give our time to him. We listen to him. We allow him to change us. He is the one that has the authority in lives. He's the one that we put first. And when we do that, those tough times, the times that we do, get tempted, or we go through that valley, Just like that in Jeremiah, like the tree, we're not gonna waver. We're not gonna jump ship and start trying to lead our life. We're gonna let God do. We're not gonna worry about it. We're gonna know wherever He takes us, He's with us. Doesn't matter how dark it gets or how hard it gets. God's right beside us, and it isn't this world that we need to be satisfied. It's God in this world, and what's next, what's after this time, is with God forever. And so we know whatever we do in this world, the beauty we collect or create, the funds that we have, the achievements that we have, or the intelligence that we know, we can't take it with us, right? Everything of this world stays of this world, and basically it's meaningless. The richest man, the poorest man leave the same way. It doesn't matter. And so for us, what does matter is God. It's what we do with God, a relationship with God. And that's what's going to carry us through this world, that we don't start feeding those insecurities. We don't start chasing them and going on our own and trying to replace God with our happiness. And when we do that, we put it into the world, and the world would be sin, and we're just going to devour ourselves in that and miss out on the peace and love that God promised us and has for us. And so for us, just want to challenge us, do we have that relationship? Do we know that relationship? I hope you do. I hope you have that relationship with God where you know you don't want to go a day without Him in your life, or without talking or hearing from Him, and that that's the only assurance we can have to get through this life, because this life is tough and it's hard, and without God it's scary. But with Him, He's going to take us through those dark valleys, and it's going to care for us, and we're going to know that. It's just like your spouse. If you're married, you're going through tough times, you go through it together. You know how much easier and how much better it is. You're not alone doing it by yourself. And with God, He's here beside us and carrying us through, and He won't leave us or forsake us. He'll hold our hands in the times that we think is the darkest, and then we do that. We see Him there. We know it's Him. We see God that way, and then we can trust God, knowing that it doesn't matter what comes our way, that He is there and He cares about us, and He will take us through. So I better end up now before I get going again too long and have to do this a third time. Okay, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.